Are you looking for a moment of inner peace between life's chaos? Imagine finding that inner calm through simple act of painting a serene ocean. In this video, I'll guide you step by step through a beginner friendly ocean watercolor painting designed specifically to release stress, connect with your inner self, and cultivate profound inner peace. Join me on this calming artistic journey. Welcome back to my channel. This is Deepika, and I'm here to help you slow down, release stress, and reconnect with yourself using watercolor techniques. Before we paint, I would like to invite you to prepare a small peaceful space. Nothing elaborate, just somewhere you feel comfortable sitting for the next little while. If you can, silence your phone. Take a sip of water. Open a window if there's a gentle breeze outside. Maybe light a candle if that's something you enjoy. Today we are not trying to paint perfectly. We are simply giving ourselves permission to slow down. For today's painting, you will need cartridge paper, a basic watercolor palette, container of water, a size 6 and size 2 round brush, a tissue or cloth, and the most important material of all, your time. Not rushed time, not multitasking time, just your own uninterrupted time. As you prepare your brushes, notice your breathing. There's nowhere else you need to be right now. For the next few minutes, let painting become your only task. We'll begin by gently wetting a little more than the top quarter of our paper. Take your time. The water doesn't need to flood the page. It simply needs to create a soft surface where the pigments can travel naturally. One thing I love about watercolor is that it asks us to begin gently. Before any color appears, we prepare the paper. That reminds me that many good things in life begin with preparation rather than action. Now I'm loading a soft blue. I'm beginning from the very top. Notice that I'm not trying to paint the sky. I'm simply placing color and allowing water to do much of the work. As the blue slowly moves across the damp paper, watch it. You don't need to hurry to the next brush stroke. Sometimes observing watercolor is just as relaxing as painting it. Near the horizon, I'll introduce warm yellow. Just a soft glow. Then a touch of red. These warm colors create the feeling of evening light without needing lots of detail. The colors will blend naturally. Try not to overwork them. The less we disturb watercolor, the softer it often becomes. Now I'm moving down to the ocean. Notice the perspective. The sea forms a gentle triangular shape, leading our eyes towards the horizon. I'll give it a light blue wash. The remaining beach area receives a very light yellow wash. Nothing strong, everything remains soft. At this stage, we are simply placing quiet foundations. While the paper is still slightly damp, I am mixing a little purple with a touch of red. These become our clouds. I am not outlining clouds. Instead, I am making gentle horizontal marks, loose, relaxed, uneven. Then, with a clean damp brush, I soften each one of them. This softening is my favorite part. Instead of forcing shapes, I am allowing them to dissolve. Perhaps this is something we can practice outside painting too. Like, not every thought needs to stay sharp. Sometimes softening our reaction is enough. Clouds don't need perfection. Nature isn't symmetrical. So allow each cloud to become whatever it wants to become. Now I'll suggest a distant island with one simple horizontal shape. Very little detail. Objects far away don't need much information. Sometimes less really is more. The sky is beginning to settle. Now, let's move into the ocean. I'm switching to a flat brush with thicker pigment. Notice how the brush is fairly dry. That dryness creates broken horizontal textures automatically. Each stroke suggests movement. I'm not painting individual waves. I'm painting rhythm. Short stroke, pause. Another stroke, pause. Keep the strokes mostly horizontal. As they move farther away, they become thinner and closer together. This naturally creates perspective. Take a breath while you paint. Let your breathing match your brush. You may notice your shoulders relaxing because this repetitive motion can become surprisingly calming. Now, let's bring some life to the foreground. I'm starting with sap green. Then mixing in golden yellow. Immediately the painting feels warmer. The foreground doesn't need complicated detail yet. We are simply placing broad shapes. As always, working from general to specific. Once these colors settle, I'll introduce darker greens into selected areas. Rather than covering everything evenly, I'm allowing some variation. Light areas, dark areas, lost edges, found edges. Nature is never one single color. If your pigments bloom into each other, celebrate it. Those little surprises are part of watercolor's charm. Now we reach my favorite part of today's painting, the detailing. I'm switching to my smaller brush. The pace naturally becomes slower. Each grass stroke is made individually, thin, light, upward. Notice how much more attention this asks from us. When I paint these greenery, my thoughts usually become quieter because my eyes and hands are working together. There isn't much room left for worrying about yesterday or tomorrow. Only this tiny stroke, then another and another. Now I'm mixing a little red with purple to create dry autumn plants. Again, nothing much complicated, just expressive little marks. They bring warmth into the landscape. I'll also add subtle washes around the sand and distant greenery to help everything feel connected. Finally, I'll use white to suggest tiny sparkles dancing across the distant waves. Just enough to catch the light. Not too many. Sometimes a few bright details is all we need. Now comes my favorite detail, tiny flowers or little seed heads. I hold my brush almost straight up, nearly 90 degrees, then simply dab. One dot, pause. Another dot. This tiny movement asks for patience. I have noticed that whenever I do this, time almost disappears. My breathing becomes slower, my attention becomes steadier. Perhaps that's why I enjoy it so much. If you find yourself smiling during this part, you're not alone. I always do. Let's take a small pause before the final touches. Look at your painting, not to judge it, simply to observe it. Notice how much has changed from the blank sheet of paper. One wash at a time, one layer at a time, one patient brushstroke at a time. I'll finish by adding a few birds across the sky. Small marks, simple shapes. Yet they instantly make the scene feel alive, isn't it? Take one slow breath here. Notice whether your mind feels different now than when you first sat down. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Both experiences are completely okay. The practice itself is valuable. As we finish today's painting, I would like to leave you with one simple thought. Our process today followed a gentle rhythm. We began by softening the paper with water. Then we softened our colors. Later, we shifted into slow, focused details. And somewhere along the way, many of us naturally became quieter. Perhaps calm isn't something we force. Perhaps it's something we gently allow. A few mindful brushstrokes, a little patience, a willingness to slow down. Those small moments can become part of everyday life too. Maybe while making your morning tea, maybe while watering your plants, maybe during a short sketch after work. Small mindful moments often have a bigger impact than we expect. If creating this ocean landscape brought you even a few quiet moments today, I would love to invite you to continue this journey with me. My mission is simple: to help people slow down, relax, and reconnect with themselves through watercolors. If that resonates with you, subscribe and join our growing community. We'll continue exploring gentle ocean paintings, mindful watercolor techniques, and simple creative practices that help us make a little more space for peace in everyday life. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep painting, and remember, sometimes all it takes is a brush, a little water, and a few quiet moments to return to the present.